talk about a waste of taxpayer dollars. Let's talk about what is a reasonable use of taxpayer dollars and what is an unreasonable use of taxpayer dollars, Tampon Tim. You know what is a waste of taxpayer dollars? I would say all the Somalian fraud happening in your state. In your state. And by the way, as much as we've seen, it turns out the Somalian fraud in the state of Minnesota is way worse than we thought it was. And we've already covered this. We already knew it was really, really bad. It's actually worse than that. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe you guys have missed it. So in case you have missed it, I want to just quickly catch you up. So this story has actually, honestly, been trickling out for years about how Somalians are carrying out widespread fraud. It's interesting because I just saw an article that Kamala Harris's campaign is now being asked questions because they're like, this story about the Tim Walz, the fraud in Minnesota has been going around for years. It was actually before he got reelected last that this story was out there. So who vetted this guy and who thought it was a good idea to have him as a VP candidate? That's how long this has been going on. And now even Democrats are like, I don't know how he got past the vetting process because this particular scandal, if anyone looked into it, should have taken him out already. So we are talking about a years-long fraudulent scam where these Somalians are taking billions of taxpayer dollars through Medicaid fraud, through fake daycares, through feeding the family or whatever they want to call it. There are all of these programs and they're using that money to enrich themselves or, in some cases, send the money back to terror groups, which is, I can't even express what an embarrassment that is for America to just bring these people here so that they can screw us over and send our money to terror groups who will then try to use that money to harm us. I mean, that's a humiliation ritual, okay? But all of this kind of came to a head when, we talked about this a couple days ago. Nick Shirley released his video exposing just how many of these fake daycares could be stealing millions of taxpayer dollars. Here's a little bit of that.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign.
That's great.
That's how blatant this fraud is.
That's
here
how you know you're getting a good
so this is
center.
Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up.
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open
Of course
up.
you have.
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open
liberal
up.
Karen.
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up. We have ice.
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up.
and getting $4 million
Don't
over
open
the
up. It's ice.
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away.
What do you think about that?
I love that so much. This is how dumb they are. Nick Shirley's dressed in a gray hoodie sweatshirt, and she's like, "It's ice! It's ice!" Like, ma'am, he doesn't look at all like ice. What are you talking about? Ice doesn't go around with like iPhones and gray hooded. Look at that. It's like, what? You're so retarded. Your first thought is like, oh, approaching Quality Leering Center must be ice. That's so classic white liberal Karen. But Nick Shirley's investigation led to Tim Walz just dropping out of the gubernatorial race in Minnesota. That's how big of a deal it was because you have Tim Walz's fingerprints all over his administration is vetting who is receiving these funds. And it actually, I mentioned it gets worse. Well, here's how, because apparently people, they knew about it. They chose to cover it up further because a new audit finds state workers mismanaging money and fabricating documents to cover their tracks. The audit actually showed the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out to whomever without checking who was receiving the money. Now, as that happens, you would think, oh, well, surely, like, I don't know, you would have a manager who would discover it and then cut it off, just stop it, correct the error. We're talking about we're talking about their money when it comes down to it, right? Like if you live in Minnesota, it's your money. And also most of these states, it's like federal money as well. So it's everyone's money. Everyone should care. Everyone should have a vested interest to stop it. But no, actually, managers did discover it, and they just simply tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents to cover up the tracks of the old documents. Let me give you an example here. This is how egregious this is. This is why, guys, I will never back down from the argument that taxation is theft. It's so, what motivation, what incentive do governments have to be mindful of your money when they can just do whatever the hell they want with it? They control the programs, they control the allocation of the funds, they control the vetting, they control all of it, and they can just use it on bullshit and then just make you give them more. Like, it's so egregious. So the auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work. Sign me up for that gig, by the way, with no information on what they actually do. Let me just tell you, if anyone wants to pay me $672,000 for 1 month of work with no information on what I'm actually doing, y'all will never see me on this show again. Okay, like, wow, that's a lot of money for absolutely no checking and vetting to make sure that they're doing something to earn that $672,000 a month, which is already absurd, okay? Then the grant manager who paid this absurd amount of money, actually left Tim Walz's Department of Human Services a couple days later, and you're going to be shocked to hear where that person went. They became a paid consultant for that company. Wow. I'm so shocked to hear that these government employees are corrupt. I'm so shocked to hear gosh, I wonder if that was all planned to just waste your taxpayer dollars and then just go do it to enrich yourself. Wow, that's so, that must be the first time that that's ever happened in this country or the state of Minnesota. Wow, I'm so shocked. Now, President Trump, because there's a lot of this that happens since President Trump got back in office that I realize is very frustrating for a lot of us, because it's like, okay, we're uncovering, like take Doge for an example. We're uncovering all of this fraud, absurd amounts of fraud they were uncovering. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to eliminate it? What are we doing? We found the thing. We found the crime. What are we doing about it? So President Trump said, here are additional actions, the rapid response team, here are additional actions announced this week with more to come. The Justice Department is surging additional prosecutors to the state of Minnesota, doubling the amount of attorneys working on fraud cases. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced a full audit of Minnesota's Medicaid billing receipts and will claw back fraudulent claims from future funding. Boy, I got news for the state of Minnesota. You guys are screwed for a really long time if they are going to have to claw back and draw from future funding. Y'all are, that's going to be years probably. HHS cut off an additional $10 billion in federal funding from 5 Democrat-run states ripe with fraud, including Minnesota. DHS is deploying an additional 2,000 law enforcement agents to the Twin Cities to assist with law and immigration enforcement. Now, obviously, again, the administration is taking this seriously, which is great. I mean, it's so effing frustrating. See, I did it, guys. I did it. I censored myself. It is so frustrating that we're hearing that's an absurd amount of money and nothing ever gets done. Well, it looks like things are getting done. And they're actually on Capitol Hill today. They had a hearing about this. And, you know, I think rightfully so. There are a lot of lawmakers who are getting very frustrated, just like us, that this has been covered up for so long. Here is Tom Emmer at some of that hearing.
And where the hell has the Twin Cities media been? The Star Tribune is complicit. They have had this story for years, if you just heard, and they've refused to report anything on it. In fact, they continue to try and cover up. Our Minnesota Republican colleagues have demanded answers and accountability for years, but have seen nothing from Walz, his administration, our Democrat colleagues like Tina Smith, Amy Klobuchar, Ilhan Omar, and Angie Craig, or the worthless Star Tribune. Thank God for President Donald J. Trump for finally bringing attention to this issue.
I want to know. I want names. I want names of everyone who's been involved in this, who knew about it and turned the other way, who have been enriching themselves with this money. I want to know, Ilhan. I want to know why you know all of these people who are being convicted of fraud schemes, all of these Somalians who are being convicted of fraud schemes. I want to know why you seem to be besties with all of them. I want to know why Tim Walz seems to have all of this happening under his watch, and you expect me to believe he didn't know about it? I don't know. He just dropped out. What does that tell you? I want to know who all is involved in this. I want to know Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota. I want to know how much you know. I want to know how much you know, because Fox News has just uncovered some old audio of good old Keith Ellison, non-corrupt Keith Ellison holding the Antifa handbook. I want to know how much he knew, since now we have old audio from 2021 of him meeting with Somalians who were, by the way, you're going to be shocked to hear this, later convicted in a massive fraud scheme. And this audio is them asking him to help get more funding, because if he doesn't, they're going to withhold their votes.
The only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests.
That's right.
You can only protect our interests when we have your back, and you don't have to worry about who's behind you.
Gosh, I wonder what they were talking about. I mean, they got convicted of fraud later. I wonder what they're talking about. By the way, Keith Ellison, same guy who says he has done enough to stop the estimated, $9 billion from being stolen.
Not that fraud is not a problem. Of course it is a problem. Mm-hmm. And of course we have to prosecute it. And of course we have been prosecuting it. But
have you done enough, General, to do so? I mean, one of the claims is that there has been hundreds of millions of dollars, but now there are some estimates that there could be $9 billion or more. And Noam was just suggesting they took hundreds of people off the street who were involved in fraud. Are you confident your office has done enough?
Of course, we've done enough, and we're doing more every single day. This is a political matter. This is not a serious thing.
Keith Ellison is like, listen, it could have been 10 billion. Like, you're welcome. It's only 9 billion. Yep. It could have been way worse than 9 billion. Of course we've done enough. I mean, if you're a Democrat, really, if you're a black Democrat and you've lost the random black chick on CNN late night, like, you guys may be screwed. So I want names. I want to know, Keith Ellison, what you know. I want to know what Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey knows. Look at him. Look, oh my God, you are such an embarrassment. He is grooving to the Somalian music, waving the Somalian flag. He is decked out in the Somalian flag, which, remember, they've changed the flags over in Minnesota to be more like the Somalian flag, or flags. They have like a bunch of different, regions. I don't care to know. So I want to know what Jacob Frey knows. I want to know. I mean, he has learned the Somalian language. Like, he's speaking their language. He's waving their flags. He's wearing them on his shirt. I want to know, because it seems pretty curious that he beat out, they had a literal Somali pirate who was running against him in the last mayoral race. And he beat him out. So I want to know why the I'm the captain now guy didn't beat him with such a large Somalian community. I mean, we just heard those Somali fraudsters on that undercover audio say, we are going to back whoever can get us more funding. We're going to withhold our votes. And you need our votes because we've come over and we've like conquered this particular area. I just want to know. I want to know why Jacob Frey is sticking his neck out for Somalians while ICE comes to deport the illegal ones. I want to know why he's doing this.
This is not about solving crime. This is not about preventing fraud. This is about sowing chaos on the streets of Minneapolis, and that's what they are intent on doing right now. I mean, if the goal was to stop crime, we have mechanisms to do so. We've worked in the past substantially with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and by the way, driven down crime substantially. What they are doing is an intent to terrorize people in our city and specifically target our immigrant neighbors. And we're standing rock solid with them.
That is so crazy that he's talking about bringing down crime when I literally what about the $9 billion in fraud? And that's the conservative estimate. That's not not that crime. Sorry, not that crime. Not that crime. Also, not the crime of just being illegal and being here. They're just our immigrant neighbors, right? Now, the icing on the cake for all of this is Tim Walz's own daughter, who I do find to be very insufferable. Even Tim Walz's own daughter is, I don't know if it was an accident, I don't know if it was a slip of the tongue, but even she was forced to admit that there is enough truth to this whole Somalian fraud. You remember, her dad was like, this is a crazy far right-wing conspiracy crackpot nut job theory. There's no truth to this, but I don't want to be a distraction, so I'm going to leave. And even his daughter is like, yeah, there's probably enough truth to that.
But it's like, it's not about him. It's about he's the other side for a big group of Americans,
yes.
I feel like.
Yes. And I think he was popular during the campaign last fall.
Yeah.
And he's still in office and he was running again. And so it's just kind of an easy thing for them to pick up on. Mm-hmm. And I think there's enough truth to the fraud claim, things, that they were able to twist it and amplify it.
Oh, they just twisted it. Is it true or did they twist it? By the way, they just twist and amplify it. Well, so there is enough truth to the fraud thing. It's just that it's actually like their fault because they amplified the truth, right? And she goes on. I mean, this is how gross these people are. She goes on to blame not Tim Walz, not his administration, not the managers who were like creating new documents to cover their tracks, no one who actually did something wrong here, not the Somalians, no one who actually did something wrong. No, she actually says it's Nick Shirley's fault for going to Minnesota and exposing this because he has some ethical responsibility to not, expose fraud.
But I definitely think people see somebody and they're like, oh, this person's, I see myself in them. And so I'm going to believe them. And that is what people definitely see in me. Mm-hmm. I think then that's like an ethical thing on his end. Mm-hmm. You can't just go and do this to people. I don't know.
Yeah. But
in communities.
You know what is so crazy about the left? Like they say so much while saying nothing. Like what does that mean? You just said there was enough truth there. And then you said he has an ethical duty to not tell the truth because people listen to him. You're not allowed to tell the truth on a community because people listen to you. Like, what are you actually saying, ma'am? I think because when people, they see me and they listen and believe me, what? They saw where he was going and they saw that it was, a little fishy that the Leering Center, who wasn't open and didn't have any kids there, and all of these other Somalian places where they didn't speak English and they were really squirrely and they didn't want to let you in and there seemed to be no kids anywhere in sight. It's just boggles the mind. Also, by the way, if you want to talk about ethics, or punishing people. Nick Shirley is actually the one who has threats on his life, for real.
They're just seeing how evil people are for wanting to come and kill me for talking about fraud. How do you protect yourself and make sure that you're safe? Yeah, now it sucks because now I have to have security. Like, I never expected to have to go film a video and have 4 security people inside of a car watching around or walking to the corner to make sure that no threat comes. Because in Minnesota, I go and film part 2, and a Somalian man, stops in the middle of the intersection, stops his car in the middle of a red light, in the middle of the intersection, hops out and just comes and literally tries to come and attack me.
And what happened?
Luckily, security was there to stop him. But if he wasn't,
you have that footage?
Yes.
Whoa.
His hoodie
and
is
so luckily,
funny.
like now I just can't go and do stuff because especially with I pissed off
Leering Center
a pretty bad group of people to piss off the Somali population. Because if you piss off one Somali, you're pissing off the whole entire community.
Golly, I am so shocked to hear that someone from a third world shithole would come here and just not know how to solve things without violence. I am so shocked that all the Somalian pirates that are coming here like don't know how to solve things other than threatening to kill you. Wow, that's so shocking. I mean, I posted a video trying their shitty food and they were sending me death threats. So maybe they shouldn't be here. Maybe they should just go back. If they want to keep their third world values, they can go back to their third world shithole. I don't know. That sounds reasonable. You let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe to, of course, Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, the channel you are watching right this moment. Hit the like button and, do all the things, okay? If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.